Welcome to the Cheshire Historical Society and its headquarters, the Hitchcock-Phillips House. Here you will learn about Cheshire's history, but the Hitchcock-Phillips House has a history of its own. This beautiful Georgian classical house was built by Rufus Hitchcock in 1785. It was just 4 years after the end of the American Revolution, and records tell us the cost of the house was £348, 18 shillings and 8 pence. The house is particularly admired for its handsome entry with columns and carved pilasters. Note the beautiful woodwork and the double doors with handsome bullseye glass lights. The front windows have 12/12 panes, and above, see the beautiful molded caps topped by serrated molding called dental molding because it resembles teeth. Inside the house, you can see the original arrow hinges on the double doors and admire the soft colors as the sunshine comes through the bullseye glass. This is an inside view of the 12/12 window panes. There are similar historic windows throughout the house. The parlor fireplace is beautiful. The house once had 11 fireplaces. Touring it now, you'll be able to see 7. Notice the beautiful original wood paneling with dental molding. It extends through the parlor and front hall and into the dining room. Through the years, this paneling became covered by wallboard, but when the Society acquired the house, it was uncovered and restored. The downstairs floors have been replaced, but upstairs, you'll see the original wide board flooring. In one upstairs room, a ceiling has been left unfinished so visitors can see the 1785 mortise and tenon construction of the house. 2 years after the house was built, Rufus and an older cousin, Amasa Hitchcock, who lived across South Main Street where the medical clinic is now, started a store. Through the years, Rufus and Amasa's original structure has evolved into the building that now houses the 3 town center stores. It was a profitable business and continued as a grocery store right up till 1975, a remarkable history of 188 years for a single business on the same site. Rufus was a wealthy and influential man in Cheshire. We do not have a picture of him, but because he was town clerk and a justice of the peace from 1792 until his death in 1832, his flowing signature is seen on hundreds of Cheshire deeds and other records. He was also a successful merchant, a colonel in the militia, and a state representative for 12 years. Rufus was a son of Eliakim Hitchcock, a New Haven silversmith who also owned property in Cheshire. In the exhibit room, we have one of Eliakim Hitchcock's silver spoons with his distinctive mark, E.H. Eliakim deeded this building lot to his son Rufus. He also owned the adjacent property to the north of the house, which had a house and a small shop on it. In 1792, Rufus married Hannah Lewis. This lovely portrait shows a very elegant young woman. Rufus and Hannah had 2 children, a daughter, Lucretia, born in 1795, and a son, William Rufus, born 2 years later. Hannah died in 1799, most probably in childbirth, as so often happened to wives in those days. Here is her tombstone in Hillside Cemetery. She was only 30. The inscription on the tombstone reads, "Boast not thyself of tomorrow." Within the year, Rufus married Flora Gilchrist, who became mother to his 2 small children. Rufus and Flora had no children of their own, but Flora raised the 2 Hitchcock children. She was with Rufus when he died in 1832 and lived on another 20 years after his death. It was Flora who probably commissioned the earliest picture we have of the house, currently the most historically significant piece that the Historical Society owns. This beautiful overmantel painting was painted about 1810 by an itinerant painter-decorator from Wallingford named Sylvester Hall. Hall painted it for this exact spot in the dining room. The picture shows the green with parts of Main Street and the second meeting house of the Congregational Church. Notice that it is quite close to the road. Here's the plaque on the green that marked the spot where this church was located. The wing on the south of the house was probably added about 1820 when Rufus's son William R. and his new wife Mary Hull came here to live. You can see the new wing in this wonderful woodcut of the church green done about 1836 by John Warner Barber. Notice the wing without the porch and the plain roof line. After William R. and his wife moved on to Waterbury, his sister Lucretia and her family came to live in the house. She had married an Episcopal clergyman and naval chaplain, the Reverend Peter Clark, and they had 2 daughters and a son. When he retired, the Reverend Clark, Lucretia, and the 2 daughters came here to live. In the 1860s, the older daughter, Maria Scoville Clark, Rufus's granddaughter, married a mathematics instructor from the Academy, then called the Episcopal Academy of Connecticut. This is an early picture of the Academy, which was founded in 1794, just 9 years after this house was built. It was located then, as it is today, diagonally across the street. Maria's new husband was Andrew Wheeler Phillips. This is a later photo of him. He had a very interesting career. He taught mathematics at the Academy from 1864 to 1875, then accepted an appointment as a mathematics instructor at Yale College, and eventually became dean of the graduate school. Once at Yale, of course, the Phillips used the house only in the summertime. We are not sure when this back L was added. We know it was originally 1 story, and it is very possible that it was first added by the Phillips to serve as a summer kitchen. At one time, the house also had a side door with steps leading out to a well in the side yard. Today, this lovely garden is maintained by the Suburban Garden Club. In the courtyard at the rear of the house, the Cheshire Garden Club has created and maintains this beautiful colonial garden. Maria's younger sister, named Lucretia like her mother, did not marry, but continued to live with her older sister and brother-in-law. Even after Maria's death in 1895, her husband and then her sister kept the house, right up until Miss Lucretia's death in 1907. Thus, the Hitchcock-Phillips House recognizes the 2 families who owned the house for its first 122 years. The next owner was Alfred S. Bennett. He maintained the house as rental property. Bennett Avenue, the dead-end street which runs off Spring Street, directly behind the house, bears his name. In the 1930s, Bennett sold the house to the Cheshire Academy, then the Roxbury School, and it was converted into a boys' dormitory and classrooms. The dormer windows on the 3rd floor were added at this time to create 5 third-floor bedrooms. For the next 40 years, the house belonged to the Academy, which called it Phillips House, in honor of their former instructor, Andrew Phillips. This lovely watercolor of Phillips House, which you can see upstairs in the toy room, was painted in the 1950s by local artist Bob Lucas. In 1972, the Academy was consolidating and wanted to sell the house. At the urging of the Historical Society, particularly its founder and first curator, Dr. Robert J. Craig, the town of Cheshire bought the property for $42,000 and leased it to the Society to operate. None of the beautiful furnishings, except the overmantel painting in the dining room, were actually owned by the Hitchcocks or the Phillips, although they are no doubt similar. Everything in the house was given to the Society by people in Cheshire, and people have been incredibly generous. Besides the dining room and parlor, we have 2 other display rooms on this floor. The exhibit room and the keeping room or kitchen with its marvelous fireplace. These back stairs and the stairs in the front both lead to 8 more display rooms on the 2nd floor with lots of wonderful things. The 3rd floor is used for storage and is not open to the public. Now, please begin your tour. In each room you will find a fact sheet with information for that room. But if you have questions, a docent or the curator will be more than happy to help you. Again, welcome to the Hitchcock-Phillips House, home of the Cheshire Historical Society. We are so pleased that you have chosen to visit.